So I've been getting a lot of comments related to my reshade and graphical options for S.T.A.L.K.E.R Anomaly and also the mods I use. So I'm going to explain every single option I use and why I use it. I'm going to teach you how to install Anomaly and how to install add-ons to it. And then I'll let you guys know how to make your game look exactly like mine. I also have timestamps in the video, so if you already have one of those parts figured out, you can skip to the next one. But before that, I think it's important to cover the basics, because in the end of the day, if your PC cannot handle vanilla Anomaly with most of the graphical options turned on, the reshade won't make any difference. You see, the reshade is more of a finishing touch in the end, is that icing on top of the cake. If you have a lower end PC and can't get the good resolution or simply have to sacrifice a lot of graphical options, then the reshade is not for you. With that said, I will leave my PC specs in the description below, alongside all the links where you can find all the mods I've used. And before we get to the video, if you could be so kind to help my channel out by hitting that like button or commenting for the almighty algorithm, I will greatly appreciate it. Well then, first things first, what is S.T.A.L.K.E.R Anomaly and how do I get it? S.T.A.L.K.E.R Anomaly is a free standalone S.T.A.L.K.E.R game. It includes all of the 3 S.T.A.L.K.E.R games and already comes with improved graphics, animations, community quests, different game modes, I mean the list goes on. I do have all the S.T.A.L.K.E.R games in my library, but I don't use them. Nothing compares to S.T.A.L.K.E.R Anomaly, and in the end of the day it's completely free. It's also very stable on its own, so I recommend getting a good grasp on it before moving to higher clouds. You can choose from a variety of ways to play the mod. You can play story mode with 4 chapters of quests, you can choose a sandbox mode if you prefer to make up your own story, or the combat intense warfare mode where factions fight for influence and control over different areas of the zone. It's also highly customizable, you can play it the way you like and have the most fun doing it. There are literally hundreds of settings that can be tweaked in the options menu, and for more advanced changes, there are over 1000 add-ons for Anomaly alone that were created by other modders. To install Anomaly, it's very simple. There should be a link in the pinned comment, you click on it and it takes you to ModDB. So you just click the download option, and after the download it will give you a file that looks exactly like these. And as you can see, you already have our Expedition add-on that we're gonna need for later. You right click on it and then choose to extract to the folder with the same name. Once it's done, you're all set and you have now successfully installed S.T.A.L.K.E.R Anomaly. Now for the reshade add-on. I use Expedition. This one has 2 versions, a graphical only and a complete mod pack. If you are new to modding, the ModPack is a great choice to get you started. It already comes with the best mods pre-installed, so it's an hassle-free ModPack that can easily be installed and gets you gaming right away. I've had the comments saying I shouldn't share this one because it's outdated, but in 25 hours I've played the last 2 weeks, I only got 2 crashes. So for me and my applications, it just works fine really. To install it, click on the link on the pinned comment. Once again, it's gonna take you to ModDB, where you will have a button saying download now. But this is the graphical add-on only, and if you want all the other mods, you just click read more. Go below and then click on the MediaFire link and download it from there. To install it, it's pretty easy too. You grab the mods and you put it on the root folder of the game. Just like this. Then click unpack here and you're pretty much done. That's literally all you need to do. It's also very important not to have any save files in that Anomaly game data. So it's best to do it on a fresh Anomaly folder, so as you can expect, a new game is required. It's not gonna work in your previous saves. Once that's all done, let's launch the game. You open it and it leads you to the launcher. In here you want to choose DirectX 11, shadow map to the lowest setting, and click on prefetched sounds. This will make the game initial load time a bit slower, but it works better in the long run because you get less stuttering when gaming. Once you do that, you launch S.T.A.L.K.E.R Anomaly. I play on 1440p and this is something I cannot compromise, but if you are having hard FPS hits, it might be something you could lower. So now we click Advanced Video Settings, and we're gonna go all through these options and I'll explain what they'll do. Over here, stalkers can use headlamps. We definitely want to check this one in. It makes for some really immersive gameplay, especially at night, and not a lot of things are cooler than a full squad using headlamps in the dark. VSync is disabled, same thing with FPS limiter, and then we have rendering distance. First one is the world, and this option affects how far you can see. I keep mine at max, and here's the comparison. This is the low view distance. It doesn't look that bad, at least not until you put it on max view distance. If you're having frame rate problems, you can always reduce it a little bit and it won't make much of a difference. But for me, I can use this one maxed out. Then we have static objects. This is pretty much the same as the world view distance. It affects buildings, bushes, trees, pretty much all of the static objects. Here's the comparison, and I always keep this one maxed out. It shouldn't make much of a difference for you neither. The one where you need to be more careful is the dynamic objects view distance. This one affects NPCs, mutants, stuff like that, and it can have a big hit on FPS, especially if you are using HD models, as we will once we mod the game. So be really careful with this one. Next up, we have distance shadow culling. This one removes distant shadows that you wouldn't be able to see anyways, so I keep this one on. Then we have texture detail, pretty self-explanatory. I keep this one high. After that, we have object detail, and this one affects all the textures will look at a distance. This looks like crap on low, so I always keep it on high. After that, texture MIP, it kinda does the same thing, so I keep it on high. Then we have anisotropic filtering, feel free to keep it on max as well. And then anti-aliasing, I keep it off, but this is a good option for those of you who have lower end PCs. It smooths out the edges of objects and they won't look as bad. After that, SMMA, this is a higher quality anti-aliasing effect, but it's also slower. Again, it depends on your specs, so it's something you might want to test for yourself. For me, I keep this one on high settings. Then we have detail bumps, T-parallax, and tessellation. These ones have no FPS drop, so feel free to keep them enabled. They pretty much improve the textures, so it's a no-brainer really. Next up we have grass settings, and this is the option that is going to take the biggest hit in your performance. So feel free to test this one out yourself and see what works for you. For me, I like to keep the grass density at around 70% and the grass size around 1 to 1.3. What I'm aiming for is less grass but more bushes and taller grass. If you up the grass density, you can't go that high in grass size, so it doesn't look so good. Grass rendering distance I keep around 110, but this is another one of those things you just gotta try it for yourself. Again, if you're having FPS problems, the grass settings are probably the cause of the problem. For grass shadows I keep it on, but if you have a low-end PC you should disable it. After that we have lighting, lighting distance and shadow quality I leave it on. Actor shadow I leave it on as well. Same thing with specular gloss, which I keep around 7 or 8. It pretty much makes objects shine when it's raining and gives a really cool effect. Sun shadow I keep it on with the quality set to high, and the sun rays I keep on volumetric. This is what makes the sunrise look really good and well, kinda in your face, so if you don't like that you can turn it off, but I like to keep it on. For the volumetric quality I keep it on high, the sun ray main intensity I leave it on 0.9 and the base intensity at 0.5. Then we have SSAO, and this is something you definitely want to keep enabled. It improves the interior room shadows and overall makes it look less flat. For quality we choose high, and then we have volumetric lights, which I always keep it on. This is what makes this lighting effect of the lamp going around the room. It's definitely something you want to turn on. After that we have soft water and particles, and you definitely want to enable these ones. And then we have depth of field. Don't use this. This is horrible. Just don't use it. And same thing with motion blur, unless you like it, but for me, always off. Then we have wet surfaces, I keep it on. It makes the surfaces look really good when it's raining and not as flat. And to win it all, volumetric smoke, which kinda does the same thing as volumetric lighting, so I leave it on. Now, once you launch your game, you're going to notice one thing, is that everything looks like absolute crap, and that's because of the different filters that already come enabled in the get-go. So now you hit your home key, and what I recommend is for you to uncheck everything and choose them from scratch. With that said, here are my recommended filters of choice and why I use them. For starters, we have screen space directional occlusion. This one provides indirect lighting and brightens objects that are exposed to a certain light source. To make it simple, it makes everything look less flat, and I always keep it on. Then we have clarity. It pretty much gives a bit more contrast and, as the name says, more clarity to the object, especially on longer distances. I always keep this one on as well. Following that we have vibrance, and as the name suggests, it gives it a bit of a more vibrant look. This one is not for everyone, but I like it. It's definitely not something you'll want to use if you want to make your game as gritty and nitty as possible, but I do like it the way it looks, so I have it on. After that we have local contrast. This is a contrast stretching shader that locally adjusts the contrast of the image based on the contents of small regions of the image. In other words, it looks cool, especially under bridges, windows, stuff like that. Then we we have FGFX. The explanation for this one is a little bit hard, but to make it simple, it makes things look less flat, so I always use it as well. After that, ambient light. This gives it a bloom effect where the light from the sun hits the surfaces and looks really good. And to end it all, we have Watchdog stone mapping. This gives the biggest change and it's definitely not for everyone. It doesn't look as creepy as the game is intended to look, but I do like it, and every now and again I might use it, especially if it's raining. This one looks especially good during the rain. Another filter I like to use when it's raining, it's the SSR filter. This one pretty much makes everything look wet, but be careful with this one, as the filter also affects interior buildings and doesn't look so good with certain weapons. But I do use it here and there. And that's pretty much all of the filters that I use in my S.T.A.L.K.E.R Anomaly. For those wondering, these are my basic light settings. Obviously you might want to change these and your game probably won't look the same as mine, because I've also got custom brightness, gamma and contrast settings already changed in my monitor. So they affect all games, and that's why you guys are always asking me how do I make Ghost Recon look so good. It's all about the monitor settings, so I recommend googling the best settings for your own monitor and then go from there. For those who are still here, I also want to briefly talk about the contents of the mod pack. In the end of the day, this video is for all of you who are just getting started modding Anomaly, hence why I chose a mod pack with a lot of things pre-installed. Now the mod pack already comes with great mods. Obviously we have the enhanced shaders and color grading, which is the shader we are using. After that we have boomsticks and sharpsticks, and this is the most well-known mod for weapons in S.T.A.L.K.E.R Anomaly. It adds a ton of new weapons plus attachments for those weapons and pretty sweet reload animations. This is one of the mods that once you use it you can't live without. We also have the armored zone here, which also brings a ton of new weapons, but they don't look as good. They look better than the regular Anomaly ones, but the big thing here is variety. After that we have HD models, and this mod is what makes all the NPCs look so great. If you're putting up your own mod pack, I highly recommend this one. Another really good one that it comes with is the foods, drugs and drinks animations. This adds animations for drinking, eating and, well, taking drugs, so you don't just click a button and it's done. You actually have to wait for the animation to be complete. Makes some tough fights even harder because it takes a while to take meds or put on a bandage, but I like it and I always use it. After that we have the blindside reanimation pack. This gives different animations to regular, non-modded Anomaly weapons like the Makarov pistol here. That's why the reload looks so good and not as hold as it should. It also changes how the player holds the weapon and some other stuff. Speaking of which, we also have the THAP rework. This changes how the clothing options look in game, and that's why my ghillie suit looks so nice, but also all the other clothing options as well. But I'm just touching the surface here. There are many other mods and the complete list is up on the Expedition mod page and you can check it out there for yourself. In the end of the day, I hope you guys enjoyed this one and learned something new today. S.T.A.L.K.E.R Anomaly is probably the best free-to-play game out there, and it's only possible by the great work of modders who built mods like the ones we are using. So feel free to go to ModDB and thank them for their amazing work they've done. I'm just here showing them off and the real work was made by them. Feel free to ask any questions and I'm probably gonna answer them all, but that's it for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one and I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, have a good one. CUSTER Play signing out.